Hey everybody, what's good? What's going on? Happy Saturday. JB here, back with another CyberInsight live stream. Figured I'd just hop on here tonight and do something a little fun. Wanted to go through a entry level or beginner level capture the flag on TryHackMe. We haven't really done too many of those that aren't necessarily based around teaching some type of lesson or following one of their learning modules. So I figured, why not just grab one that is entry level, and I'll kind of walk you through what it is that they're wanting us to do. But we don't necessarily have to go about learning about any specific types of software or tech or something like that to end up getting to the point where we actually get some hands-on stuff. So we're just going to hop right into it. I'm going to move over into the browser. As always, I appreciate it if you smash that like button, subscribe, all that other good stuff you know that you're supposed to do when you watch these videos on YouTube. So don't need to say that anymore. Let's see. So RootMe, a CTF for beginners. So hopping into this right here, you're going to want to spin up your attack box. And then there's an active machine here that you're going to want to hit that as well. So we're just going to do that. I already got that brought up over here. And we will just move into that. If you have any questions as we go through this, go ahead, throw those in the chat window and we'll hit those up. So really it's broken down into a few different sections here. Recon, getting a shell, and then privilege escalation. So we'll see what it is that they want us to do here. So first, let's get some information about the target. So since we don't actually have anything that we need to go through and learn, how about we look at all these questions first off the bat so we have an idea of what it is that they're going to want us to be doing here in this particular task. So scan the machine and see how many ports are open, what version of Apache is running, what service is running on port 22, find directories on the web server using the GoBuster tool, and then what is the hidden directory. So if you've watched any of the other TryHackMe videos that I've done, especially stuff that was more related to offensive stuff, you know that when it comes to enumeration, the thing that we're normally going to do right off the bat is run some type of nmap scan. So let's hop over here, and the IP address is 10.10.195.123. We'll just copy that. And then the question always becomes with these types of things, you know, what type of nmap scan do we want to run? Well, based off of the questions that we had here, we're wondering about ports. They're wondering about versions of different types of software that's going on there. So I think we could probably do something like a, let's see, what do we want to do? Maybe a SC, so lowercase s, capital C. So that will use like the default nmap scripts. And then we could do lowercase s, capital V. And that should do, I think, the versioning of the different types of software that it ends up finding from the open ports. So we'll kind of see how that goes. Definitely, if you aren't familiar with nmap, I actually have a video I did walking through a whole bunch of different types of nmap scans for different types of purposes. I have a video for that. Go check that out. That will kind of help you out. There's also a really handy cheat sheet that I always do when it comes to nmap stuff that I think I had listed in the description of that nmap video. So go take a look at that. So let's see. Yeah, let's just go with that. We'll see what we come up with. All right. So what do we got going on here? We got 22 using SSH. And port 80 HTTP with Apache 2.4.29. So we already know that that is a thing. And we also see that this looks like it is running doing something with PHP. So that's probably something good to know as well. Hey, Alex, see you dropping in, throwing some stuff up there. Yep, definitely the commands we want to do. And I like to save my first nmap scans to file output for easier reference. That is definitely a good thing to do as you kind of work through this type of stuff. Keeping track of what you've done and taking notes is really the name of the game that will make things quite a bit easier. So let's see. Let's go answer some of these questions here. So there was 2 ports that were open. What was the version of Apache that was running? That was 2.4.29. 2.4.29. What service is running on port 22? Well, normally that's going to be SSH. All right, now find directories on the web server using the GoBuster tool. So you could use GoBuster, you could use dirbuster, any type of enumeration for directories, web directories. So let's see. GoBuster. Let's see if we can go help. Okay. So what do we got here? We're going to be doing dir, since we're doing directory file brute forcing mode. And we're going to need a word list. And normally, if you've done any of these with attack machines before, you know that they have a whole bunch of different word lists that are on here. And the word list is just going to give you, in essence, what I just said, a list of words that we're going to cycle through and attempt to use to enumerate different types of possible directories here on the server. So let's go GoBuster, dir. Let's see. I think we're going to go, since it's a URL, since it's a web server, they don't have that here, but I feel, let's see if they also give us a hint too. Yeah, so they're going to go a -u, which I think is like signifying that it's actually going to be like a web page, and then -w for the directory where the word list is. So let's see. Okay, got the IP address down here, W, and then real quick, let's just bring up another terminal and see what we have for places where stuff might be in here. We could do a find search to end up finding stuff if we knew the particular file that we were looking for, but we don't. We're actually going to be using some find commands here in a little bit though. So let's go back up. Let's go, just because I've done this before. And done this enough on here. I think it's share. Yeah, word lists. And we should be able to go dir b. And we should just be able to use like the common one here, I think would be perfectly fine. So let's go user share dir b common. All right. So what did we end up coming back here? So looking for some interesting things. So not the 403s, but these 301s. We have a 200. So stuff of interest here. Definitely the index pops out here. Panel might be interesting, and uploads is something that we probably are going to want to hit. So also probably worth just bringing this up on web browser too to take a look. See what it has going on there. Let's see if I remember what that was. Not that. Oh, I lost the IP. Let me just go like that. There we go. RootMe. Can you root me? Okay, cool. So we do see that it is serving something up there on the main page. So we're looking at those panel uploads. You take a look at those. Oh, it does help when I go back. Come on. Interesting. Okay. So this looks like it will allow us to upload some type of file. We'll definitely want to be aware of that. So I wonder if the uploads is stuff that has already been uploaded. Yes. Okay. It's good to know. So we probably definitely will be using that. So I would say that panel one might be what they're looking for here. We'll see. Sometimes when you go through these TryHackMe rooms, it also just comes down to finding out whatever the answer is that matches, you know, whatever the amount of characters that they have there. And so, yeah. All right. Panel is it. Cool. So I'm going to take a little drink. I got a little Macallan here tonight. If anybody else has anything, cheers. See if there was anything else, and we completed that. All right, so we can move into task 3. So they are looking, find a form to upload and get a reverse shell and find the flag. So they are not really telling us much of anything here. Let's take a look and see what the hint says. So search for file, upload, bypass, and PHP reverse shell. So let's search for PHP reverse shell. We'll just go here. Google.com. That's fine. So it looks like we might have something here that we could use from Pentest Monkey on GitHub. Potential thing. Let's see if we can look at this. This script will make an outbound TCP connection to a hard-coded IP address and port. And yeah, that kind of looks like something that might work for us. This is the stuff that we need to change. We need to change the IP and the port. So if we're going to do that, we're probably going to use something like netcat as a listener. So it will end up creating a reverse shell back to us. We've covered netcat in a bunch of the other rooms. So if you aren't familiar with that, go check out some, I think like the network service rooms that I did use that quite a bit. Okay, so how can we get this to where we need to go? So something cool with GitHub is you actually, if you click on this raw github-user-content.com actually allows you to just directly, in essence, download whatever the file is that you want without all the other stuff that's on the web page. So we can take this and let's go and see what we want to do with this. I guess we'll go ahead and download this, and we can do that. If we just do like a wget, we should be good. So we can go wget and then paste. And we see that we have it downloaded right here. Okay. So we should be able to go and try to upload this. Let's see what happens. It was desktop, it was root, PHP reverse shell, upload. And it looks like PHP in, if I had to guess, Portuguese is telling us that we can't upload that. Okay. So maybe they're doing some type of filtering just based off of the extension. That might be a thing that they might be trying to do to have some good security. So we could try and rename this to like another type of PHP extension. We could do like a PHP.5 or PHP 5. So we could go move PHP to, let's just say, reverse shell .php 5. And there we go, rename. Now let's give that a try again. Bam. Cool. So that means we should be able to go to the uploads section we looked at before. And we have that there. So before we go and actually do any type of thing to initiate this, we will want to go and set up that netcat listener for sure. So let's take a look and see what we're going to do. Let's get that. Let's see. So we can go NC, and I think it's L. Let's see. Let's see if they give us a hint. There's a few different ways that we can, few different options that we can do here. NLVP, I think, is probably what we want to go with. Let's see. NLVP. And the port number that we are going to do with that, we can make it be whatever we want it to be. We can go 5,000. Okay. Oh, you know what I forgot? We uploaded that reverse shell, and we didn't actually edit it. So that actually would not work out well for us because it wouldn't do anything. So let's use Nano real quick. Always good to catch stuff ahead of time. So let's go into Nano, and we're going to go down. See, I was about to set the port for netcat, but we hadn't set it yet in the file. So the IP address of this box is going to be what we're going to put here. So we're going to go 10.10.227.244, and then whatever port we want to listen on. I was just going to go 5,000. Okay. There we go. Now we can go and re-upload that. Let's try that again. Okay. Yep, you got to make sure that you put your IP in there. Yep. Okay. So that should be good. Now let's see. Let's get that netcat listener going. NLVP. We did 5,000. Okay, and now we can open up another terminal and just curl to this. And we're just going to copy this link location. And as you can see, as soon as I did that, we ended up getting a reverse shell on that server. So that worked. And I am www-data. Okay. So let's go see what they wanted us to. So we got the reverse shell, and they need us to find a flag. So this is where I said we were going to probably use a find command. So let's go find -f for file. Oh, let's see. Let's see if I can do that. Or type F is what I meant. Type F. So we're going to find a file. And then we're going to do -name. And I think the name of we're looking for user.txt. So user.txt. Now, there's a few different things that we can do with this. If I just hit this, it's going to go through and it's going to go and it's going to find it, but it's going to kick back all of these different errors on things, potentially if I don't have access to be able to look at them, right? So if there's a permissions issue. So I'll just show you what I mean. So see, I'm going to get all these permission denies, and it's going to take a bit, and that's kind of ugly to look at. And I accidentally killed the session, which is fine. We can go back and just start that again. Let's do that again. So it was find type F name user.txt. What I was going to say is that we can actually do something to make sure that we don't get all those error messages. So we can do I think it's 2 greater than and go to dev null with that. And that should, yes, just go through and not actually give us all those other permission denies. So let's go take a look at that. Cat var www.user.txt. And there we go. We got a flag. Awesome. Let's go move that over here. And go see what they want us to do next. I think the next part was privilege escalation. Cool. I don't know if you can see all the way down. Let me get rid of this overlay. And there you go. You should be able to see stuff a little bit better down there. Okay. Let's see. Now that we have our shell, let's escalate our privileges to root. So what are we going to do? We're going to search for files with the SUID permission. Which file is weird when it comes to that? And then can we find a form to escalate our privileges? And then we're going to need to find a root.txt. So I think with the SUID permissions, there's a few different ways to search for that. And pretty much what that's going to let us do is find a file that I always screw this up when I try to remember, but we'll see if I can get this right. The permissions on the file allows it to be run as root, even if it's by another individual. So in this case, we're that www.data. Because of this being set, SUID permission, which if we're able to find something that has that, then we could actually run it and get the permissions of root. So let's see what their hint says. So they just give us this command here. So this is going to find user root with the permissions. This 4000 here is the permissions for set UID, or the SUID. You could also, I was looking at this earlier, you could also do this. This command here also will get us what we need. So we can go ahead and do that as well. Let's go and bring this over here. Okay, so what do we have in here that looks like it might be interesting or strange? All of these kind of look... Python might be interesting. It might be interesting. Let's see. So if we do something with Python, we should be able to read files with higher permissions because of the fact it has that SUID setting there. So, okay. So what can we do with that now that we see that Python might be? Well, let's see if that's actually what they are leaning at here. If that's the one that they actually think is interesting for us to dig into a little bit more. Okay, so it was. Okay, so find a form to escalate your privileges. So we can look at this. gtfobins. Okay, let's go and Google this. Curated list of Unix binaries that can be used to bypass local security restrictions in misconfigured systems. So that SUID would be considered maybe a misconfiguration. So let's just type in Python, see what they say. We got something here. We are looking for what? Privilege escalation and something with SUID. Okay. The element maybe if it is used. So we can get a default shell to run with SUID privileges. This example creates a local SUID copy of the binary and runs it to maintain elevated privileges. To interact with an existing SUID binary, which is what we already have, it's already there. First command, you can skip the first command and just run this. Okay, let's see. Let us see. Let's see if maybe we need to be in that particular directory. So as user and bin. There we go. Let's try that again. Let's see, who am I? And we are root now, so that did work. So we were able to escalate using that bypass. So that means we should be able to just go find that flag. So as a root.text, we kind of already were looking at that before. So find type F name root.text and dev null. Let it do its thing. Make sure I am using the right. Is root.text, yep. Hopefully I had the right syntax on that find command. I think so. Let's see. I can write it out over here. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, I like doing that. We'll just run back through that real quick. So close, right there. Oh, run that. Oh, it's good to be able to make sure you can do the same things over again. In it. Okay, and then we'll run this to escalate our privileges. That's right. I keep liking not being in the right directory. Bin. Try that again. There we go. Who am I? There we go. Find type F name root dot. There we go. Okay. So we should then be able to go cat root.txt. And there we go. Privilege escalation flag. So that is it. So not too bad for an initial room. And if you've done any of the other videos that I've gone through kind of, especially on the Pentest Plus path, then a lot of these things should be familiar. There are things that we kind of covered before, but maybe not necessarily tied them all together in the way that we did in this room. So there's a little bit more need for going out and doing some research on the internet, which makes perfect sense because that's normally what it's going to take to work your way through these types of problems. So let's see, we'll move that over. Does anybody have any questions before we wrap this up? And there we go. Congratulations. All right. Well, hey, I appreciate everybody dropping in and checking out the video. Hope everybody has a good weekend. And I'll catch you next week. All right. Bye.